Alright, party people, let's talk about Shadow of the Colossus. You know, at one point in time, this would have been one of my favorite games, but that sounds so basic. It's one of everyone's favorite games. It's Shadow of the freaking Colossus, you know? Everyone's played it, everyone's heard of it. Everyone, it's like the Citizen Kane of games. It's just what people point to and they say, that's the game. That's the one. Games are art now, that's the one. Everybody loves it. Nobody doesn't love it. Nobody dislikes it or hates it. It's just a good game. It's a great game and everybody knows it. It's almost meaningless to talk about it. It's pointless to talk about it. Everyone knows everything there is to know about the game. You know that you're the guy, you know the story, you're on the horse does the thing, the horse falls off the bridge, you gotta kill the Colossuses, the doorman, everything. Everyone knows everything about it. Everything's been said about Shadow of the Colossus. But it keeps getting remade and re-released, and I did get a chance to play the most recent one on the PS4. And what is there even to say? It was good, it was great, it was fun, it was fine, you know? It was Shadow of the Colossus. It was everything that you remember about Shadow of the Colossus, but the graphics are way better. And that's pretty much all I got to fucking say about that shit. And you know, I played the game, I killed the first Colossus, and I played the second Colossus, and you know, I explored a little, but like, at this point, I've already explored the damn world for fucking like 15 years or however long the game's been out. It's just like, it doesn't matter how damn good the game is, you keep re-releasing it, it's still the same game. At this point, I killed the first couple Colossuses, and I'm like, you know what, I'm done. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't care about Shadow of the Colossus anymore. It's just the same game. You know, it's maybe if I played it once every fucking 20 years, but you know, you're always inundated with these classic games. You can never escape them. They're in the zeitgeist, so you see people playing them on the internet. Even when you're not playing it, you can always see people playing it. So the game has never left the public consciousness. It's never left my consciousness. You know, I could recreate the whole game in my memory just by thinking about it, so there's almost no point in playing it anymore. You play it, and you know, and I hate to say it, I know it's antithetical to everything the game's about, but at this point, when you're wandering around on your horse, you think to yourself, I wish there was some more shit to do here. I wish there was like some fucking Grand Theft Auto NPC missions. You could go up to a payphone and you answer it, and the guy says, go do a race or something, or some Breath of the Wild shit. You pick up a rock and there's a little guy under it, and he gives you more inventory space. You know, I know, like, the whole point of the game is that it's barren and empty, and it's solitude, and it makes you feel things, and it's reflective and all that. I get that. I get that what I'm saying is antithetical to the game itself, but then, you know, you can almost say that it's antithetical to the game itself for it to be such a renowned thing and be on the tip of everyone's tongue all the time for all these years, and everyone... You know, the whole point of the game is that it's like a personal, you play it and you feel something, but now that feel has been, like, marginalized and spread about the whole world. Everybody knows about it. Everyone knows what the game is. Everyone knows what's good about it. So you're not really feeling anything anymore. You're just playing the classic game, Shadow of the Colossus. It's been diluted by its own popularity, by its own relevance in the gaming zeitgeist, is what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I'm wandering around and I'm like, man, I wish that they had added something to the game. I wish that they had added like extra colossi or some of the colossi that were cut from the original game. If you're just gonna remake the game, why not just like put those cut colossi back in the game? Fuck it, I'll even come out and say, make a goddamn DLC and put them in there. Let me do something else. And I know that like any suggestions that you could possibly make to change up the game or even improve the game, people would be up in arms about it. They'd say, oh, the game's a classic. You can't change art. You can't improve this artistic statement. But they already improved the graphics. The original game already exists. This is already a remake, so you might as well go all the way and just add more shit to it. They added some stuff. They added like extra weapons that you can unlock, but they're fucking useless. They're pointless. They added coins you can collect, but the coins are useless and pointless. I'm saying you should add something else for seasoned players, for veteran players who've played this game 1,000 times, who've seen all it has to offer, who's explored every inch of the fucking world time and time again, who has had this game swirling around in my brain for like 1,000 decades, You know, add something more to entice me, a veteran player. Give me something new. Put the cut Colossi back in there. Put new Colossi back in there, man. I just want to be able to do something else. You know what I wish? And if anyone's telling me that I'm wrong and that they shouldn't alter the game, they don't have to alter the game. They can have the game and then have like another mode that's like new mode, like Dungeon Master. What was it called in Zelda? The Master Quest mode, where the veteran players, you can still play the original game intact the way it was always meant to be played, the way it was originally released, albeit with better graphics or whatever. You can put a filter on the graphics and make them bad again for all I care. You can still have the original game in it, but you should also put like a new remixed version in there as well for people like me who have played this game a million times. That's all I'm saying. And you know what I really wish they would do? And I was thinking about this, and I think this is a good idea that I wish they had implemented. And everyone would freak out about it, everyone would throw a fit about it, but I don't care. This is what I wish they would do. Instead of how the original game was. Because this is not an artistic thing, I don't think. I think this certain aspect of the game is limits of the hardware is what created this. Because in the original game, you go through the Colossi in the same set order every time. They're exactly where they're supposed to be, one after another. You know who comes first, you know who comes last, you know who comes all in the middle, and you go to their areas, and when you get into their areas, you see a cutscene, and that's when the Colossi reveal themselves. That was a limit of the hardware. You can say it's also, you know, how the game was meant to be played, or artistic or whatever, but it's still, at its core, a limit of the hardware. Why don't they just have all the Colossi wandering about at all times throughout the whole game, and you can see them from another part of the map. You can see them, because that would make the game so much more epic in scope to me, so much more impressive if you could stand like on one area, like on the third Colossi stage where you're up on that big round disc. If you could stand up there and see like the other Colossi in their areas all around the world from that vantage point, that would be fucking cool. That would really sell how huge and intimidating and cool these Colossi are. If you could see them from other parts of the map, and if you could choose on your own through the gameplay, just wandering around, which Colossi to tackle first. If you might as well just get rid of the sword altogether and just make that the challenge. I mean, that's crazy. You can still have the sword, but you know what I'm saying. If you could see all the Colossi and pick and just go wherever you want, and wherever you happen to run into one of the Colossi, if you happen to stumble into a later boss at an earlier part, you get what I'm saying? You should be able to tackle them in whatever order you want. They should all be activated at the same time, all over the map. You should be able to see them from somewhere else on the map. That would be fucking cool. And if you want to say that it breaks up the flow of the game, or it's not how the game was intended to be played, like I said, you could have the original version with all the original shit on the disc, and you could also have this remixed version that I'm coming up with in my brain right now, and you could do all that shit, and you could wander around, pun intended, baby, yeah, you could wander around the whole map, and you could see all the Colossi. Boy, that would be the bee's knees. That's the game I want, and you could put the cut Colossi in there too. Instead of 16 Colossi, you could have fucking 30 Colossi, and they could be all over the whole damn map, and they could be, you know, that's what I want. I want the updated, the real updated Shadow of the Colossus, not just the graphics. I want the whole package better and bigger, and I want all of them, all the Colossus. You can really wander, because a lot of the times in the original game you don't actually wander. That's the whole point of the game. The main character's name is not gonna wander, but you don't really wander. A lot of the times you fall into just, you know, running down the Colossi on like a you're checking boxes, you know, you just go where your sword tells you, and then you kill that guy, and then you go where the sword tells you again and kill the next guy. You go in their areas and you see the little cutscenes, and then they reveal themselves. You can't, you know, fight them before they reveal themselves. You can't fight them before the right time. It's very linear. You play the game more than twice and it starts to feel samey and fucking boring. That's right, I said it. It starts to feel samey and fucking boring after your 10th fucking playthrough. You know, mix it up. Give me some choice in the matter. Let me fucking do the thing, you know, and it's like, you just get trapped into that following the sword the whole game, and, you know, it would be so much cooler if the colossi were all over the place and you could actually wander. You could actually explore. You know, fuck the sword. Throw the sword in a swamp. You don't need it. Just wander, man. Be able to actually explore this amazing world they've crafted and actually search out the colossi on your own without the sword telling you exactly where to go, because the colossi are there all over the place, and you're actually make it like a tracking thing, like put footprints and stuff, so you could actually like track the colossi to find their homes without the sword. It's important to do this. It's important to examine the old classics and say, hey, maybe they could have been better. Maybe they could be better. If we're already committed to remaking the game and remastering the game with new graphics and all that, we might as well just go the extra mile and see if we can make it better. Nothing is, like, perfect is not the end goal. You can be perfect and still be better than perfect, because there's always a new perfect on the horizon. People look at the game Shadow of the Colossus and they think we're going to remake this because it's perfect, but it never occurs to them that maybe they could make it more perfect. You know, they've already made that concession with the graphics. They've already decided maybe the graphics could be more perfect, so what's stopping them from saying maybe the gameplay could be more perfect? The only thing stopping them is snobs. Gamer snobs, art fags, who only want to be like, you can't change art after it's made. Well, you know what? George Lucas was right. Shadow of the Colossus could be better. Suck my dick. Super Mario fucking Sunshine. What else can I say about Super Mario Sunshine? What more is there to say about Super Mario Sunshine? What hasn't been said about Super Mario Sunshine? What is there to say that no one has said previously about Super Mario Sunshine? What combination or string of words can I come up with that no other person has spoken on the topic of Super Mario Sunshine? What the fuck is Super Mario Sunshine? Super Mario Sunshine was the GameCube Mario game, and in this one it's all tropical themed. Everything's tropical. You got your little water pack, Flood. It's called Flood. You go and you clean up the place. It's all polluted. There's paint everywhere, and you use your water. There's all kinds of cool, like, jumps and platforming you can do with your fucking backpack. You're shooting the water out everywhere. It's a really fun game. It's a really fun. You know, at one point in time, I would have said that it's my favorite Mario game. I mean, I quite enjoyed Super Mario Odyssey, but that's not quite old school enough to talk about here. You know what I'm saying? Even though in the last one I talked about new games, what's the point? Fuck me. I quite like Mario Odyssey, but you know, prior to Mario Odyssey, I would have told you that Super Mario Sunshine was my favorite. I loved the tropical theme, the tropical atmosphere. I loved the music. I loved the levels and the environments and the jumping and platforming too. I loved the water and I loved you. And that's what I think about Super Mario Sunshine. It's a good game. It's on a GameCube. Fuck! Oh wait, I forgot to say, you know who has a really good video about Super Mario Sunshine? Much better than this fucking trash that I just spewed incoherently. My old pal, loser talk show, or as he's now called, VG Dude. Everybody go check out VG Dude. Check out his video on Super Mario Sunshine. It's really good, man. It's really good. It's a much better video than this. He actually says something in his video. Okay, that's all I got to say about that. Resident Evil 1 is the scariest game you've ever seen, smelled, or heard of in your entire worthless life. If you think that you've ever seen anything as scary or as spooky, then you're, first of all, lying, and second of all, an idiot. And third of all, you're a baby, because there's nothing scarier or spooky or even approaching the same vicinity of spookiness or scariness in which Resident Evil 1 resides. Resident Evil 1 is the resident of evil. That's why it's called that. It is the sole resident of the genre scary, spooky bullshit. That's what Resident Evil 1 is all about. I'm sorry, I have AIDS. It's not a big deal. This is not what this is about. This is about Resident Evil 1. We're not going to focus on my AIDS today. We're going to focus on how good the game is. Now, Resident Evil 1 is primarily known today and remembered for two things. One, tank controls, and two, silly, funny, corny dialogue, where people said, oh, I was almost a Jill sandwich, or you're the master of unlocking. And yeah, we've all heard that old trash before. Everybody makes fun of the fucking dialogue, but most of the people now who remember it for that shit are people who were too gosh dang darn young to even have played the game. Because if they had played the game when they were real kids, like I played the game when I was a real kid, they would have pooped their pants for real, just like I pooped my pants. And I pooped my pants many a times in Resident Evil 1. That's how I know it's scary. That's how I remember it for the right reasons, not for the phony bullshit, dumb reasons that everyone memes about. Oh, the dialogue and the tank controls. No, that's all bullshit. I remember it for what it really, truly was, and that is a scary, scary game that made me poop my pants and made me pee my pants, too. I mean, think about this, people. The hunters in Resident Evil 1. They're basically frogs, if frogs were also gorillas. Did you just poop your pants a little? You goddamn better have pooped your pants a little, because that's poop your pants worthy right there. That'll make anyone. That would even make the president poop his pants. And the president's a brave man. He's a big old tall man. Donald Trump is a tall man. That's how I know that he's not afraid of a lot of things, but he's definitely afraid of the hunters in Resident Evil 1, because who isn't? They're scary. They're frog gorillas. I'm pretty sure Donald Trump is a tall man. Let me look up Donald Trump and see how tall of a man he is. I'm pretty sure he's like 10 feet tall or something. So something in the vicinity, something in the residence of 10 feet tall. You could say Donald Trump is the resident of being tall, just like Resident Evil is the resident of evil. That's what that whole thing is about. Let's see. Donald Trump, where's born? He was born in June 14th, 1946, 71 years old. He's an old man, but is he a tall man? That's what I want to find out. Let's see here. How tall is he? How fucking tall? It doesn't even say. It doesn't say anywhere. Weird. I thought Wikipedia would have that. I thought that Wikipedia had how tall people are, but I guess it doesn't. I guess you have to type in literally how tall is D. Trump. How tall is that man? How tall is he? 6'3". See, I was right. So he's a tall man. 6'3". You know that's a tall man. So you know that Donald Trump is a big and tall man. So you know that he's not afraid of a lot of things. We know that he's not afraid of fucking North Korea, because he fucking went over there and fucking solved their problems in like one day. You know, he's a brave man. He's a great man. We know that Donald Trump is not afraid of the global elites and the New World Order and the Illuminati and the puppet masters behind the curtains, because he's taking them all down. You know that Donald Trump's not afraid of scary things like government corruption. You know, he's draining the swamp. You know, he's taking down the bad actors, as he calls them. You know, so you know that he's not afraid of many things. You know, he's a tall man. He's a strong man. He's a brave man, and he is the president, and we all worship him as we should. But even the great and noble Donald Trump is terrified of the hunters in Resident Evil 1 because they are frog gorillas. Think about all the powers of a frog. A frog can jump, it can leap, it can shoot its tongue out and grab you with its tongue, and it can croak and ribbit and fucking make cool sounds. It can swim really fast. You can't escape it in a boat because frogs can swim really fast. Swim fast, they leap, they got tongues. And then you think about all the powers of a gorilla. Power to beat you up. That's the only real power that a gorilla has. The power to beat up anyone and smash you and punch you in the face and break your spine in half like Bane and walk around and look all stupid with his big fat gut. Gorillas are disgusting. They look stupid as hell, but they're deceptively stupid looking because if you get up close to them, they're actually quite scary. They got big teeth and they'll rip your face off and they'll beat you to shit and you'll die. So all the powers of a frog, leaping and swimming and shooting their tongue out really far and sticking to things and making their necks bulge up in big scary balls, and then combine that with all the powers of a gorilla, which is like being big and scary and beating the shit out of you. So you got the frog gorillas. And that's why Resident Evil 1 is pretty much the scariest game I've ever fucking seen in my life, you know? And not even just that. There's also the scary zombie dogs, the scary zombie men. There's also the scary zombie crows. There's like the weird fly monsters, the weird Jeff Goldblum Brundle flies that you fight later in the game when you get to the lab part. There's a tyrant, obviously the final boss of the game. He's scary. Then there's the plant. What's it like? It's got like a number. The plant doesn't have like a name. It's got a number. I'm gonna plant boss Resident Evil 1. Let's see what that fucker's called. Let's see what that fucker's called right now. Plant 42. That's the big plant you fight. Resident Evil 1's great. I love Resident Evil 1. You play it as Chris or you play it as Jill, and it's like a whole different game either way, you know what I'm saying? And then they fucking added to that when you get to Resident Evil 2, and they made it like 4 games. You get to play as Leon or Claire. So that's 2 games, but then you've also got the B scenario, so that's like 4 separate campaigns, plus the hunk mission, and plus the tofu mission. And you better believe, you bet your ass, you bet your bottom dollar, that when I was a young boy, when I was a strapping young lad, I beat every single one of those campaigns multiple times. I'm the master of Resident Evil. Get fucking S rank on everything. So that's why Resident Evil is the scariest thing you've ever fucking seen, and Resident Evil 1 is the scariest thing you've ever fucking seen too. And you know what else? It's just great. I love the mansion. I love the whole game. I love the whole layout of the map. I love all the puzzles. I love the... Resident Evil 1 is one of the few games where I tolerate and even like the puzzles because I just am so nostalgic for the game itself, and you know... And then you know, a couple of years later, even they made the remake on the GameCube, and people fucking love the remake, even though it's still got the tank controls. Everybody wants to complain and whine about the tank controls when it comes to the old games, if it ages them so badly, but nobody complains about the tank controls in the remake for some reason. It's the same controls. They just like the remake better because that's shinier, prettier graphics. So fucking suck it. Shove it up your ass, bitch. That's what I say to those guys. But, you know, the remake is really great too. Some people say the remake is objectively better. I don't know if it's objectively better. I mean, it's certainly, you know, a remake. It's shiny and beautiful and, like, a lot scarier. Even scarier because they fucking added Lisa Trevor, the scariest fucking shit I've ever seen. I don't even want to talk about her. She gave me night terrors and fucking... For 100 years of my life, I had night terrors about that scary bitch. So you don't even want to know about Lisa Trevor. You don't even want to talk about it. But Resident Evil 1's a great game, the remake is a great game too. There you go. Boy, I sure do want to fuck Princess Peach. Princess Peach. I want her. Doesn't everyone? I know you do, but you can't. She's mine. She's mine, I'm telling you, she's mine. Boy, I sure wanna fuck Princess Peach. Wanna touch on her titties and her butt at least, and then kiss her on the mouth and skeet on her face. Gonna secrete semen all over the place, like water from the Mario Sunshine backpack. Talking about the flood, everybody know about that. I am Mario, No, I'm not, I'm me. I am both. We did a fusion to get into that vajee. God damn, I'm a man in the nude in a sex mood. Getting peach undressed and impressed soon. Gotta stress that this motorcycle tracksuit on the Wii U made my wiener big and fat too. Sitting in the sunshine, showing off my weenie. Along comes Peach in a teeny pink bikini. Seen me sipping a martini. This next part is extra seedy, cause we are gonna breed till we're bred like panini.
Yes, I'm getting Peach in my bed. Getting Peach naked and she giving me head. She gonna get out of need and I'm gonna fucking smell her. Then I'm gonna tell her what to fucking do. Right over here. And then I'll touch you and the boobies and the butt and the pussy too. I don't even like anybody else. Every other girl, I don't care about her. She can go to hell, cause the only one woman in the world for me. The only girl I ever gonna want is Peach. Peach, I gotta fucking get into your butt. Get into your fucking butt. Boobies, Peach, I'm coming for you. Get your fucking jumping in my room down there. Touching on your titties and I'm touching on your breast and I'll get inside you like the plunder chest.
God damn it, I'm so fucking horny. I just wanna get Peach and then I'm gonna take her clothes off and then look at the butt now, touch your butt now, and lick her fucking...
My favorite girl. We're gonna get married and take over the world. I like her a lot. Where you fucking... Fuck.